right, Reds, Fridays talking Reds, Gareth Roberts, Paul Cope. We're going to do one of these Q&A type style talking Reds again today because we thought, you know, it's Friday, it's sunny, we all want to have a bit of a laugh, and this is hopefully that. Although there's loads of dead serious footy questions, isn't there?
Yeah, you just said that.
So, you know, do you want dead serious football chat or do you want a bit of messing around? But we'll try and get a mix of the two. I was trying to think of a way we could do this whereby, but it felt like graft. So I was going to, you know, like fold them all up and we take them out of a bowl or something, you know what I mean, to make it random.
Make it easy for us. Have you noticed that? Like, basically, Robbo's just trying to make this easier for us all the time. Is this our new thing, by the way? Is anyone else doing the question and answer thing, or is this just me and you?
It's just me and you.
Are we trademarking it?
Yeah, just me and you've been doing it on Talking Reds. It is a bit of a, let's make it easier for ourselves, but I think that's all right. I mean, I think people are into it, so let's keep doing it.
Give the people what they want.
That's my general philosophy.
Yeah.
What about, should we do it, what about this? What about if I pick one for you and you pick one for me? Should we do it that way?
Okay, yeah, go on.
Rather than, all right, so let's see one. Should we do a footy-ish one? Yeah, one that's jumped out from at Bymel Taylor. And he said, they're all off Twitter, these. I asked for questions on our Twitter and you've all thrown them at it. So who's worse at punditry, Kofi? Michael Owen or Andy Townsend?
I saw this one when I was flicking through last night. I would say, gut instinct, Andy Townsend. Only because...
Tactics truck?
No, not even that, you know. Like, I've got lots of issues with Michael Owen, lots of issues. Not least that... I think one, and this could be thrown right back up here, people could go, but that's you. I think he just doesn't sound very good. like he just hasn't got a voice for being on telly or on the radio. And he seems to be doing, the number of times I see Michael Owen doing something, I think, is Michael Owen skint now? Like, I don't know whether this is
some
a
of the adverts he does on Mad
Well, I don't know whether this is a nationwide thing. Well, have you ever seen he does like personal injury law firm stuff now?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know whether that's just Northwest, but it's like, well, why are you doing that? It's like Michael Owen. It's like they've gone, which footballer got injured loads? And like, him. Okay, we'll use him for the personal injury law firm. It doesn't really work. But at least there are times when Michael Owen says something about strikers where I'm like, that's real insight, that is proper, that's the type of stuff.
It's rare.
When you're watching it. It's rare, but it does happen. I have never ever heard Andy Townsend say something where I've gone, it's interesting that Andy, that's told me something I don't know. He falls like squarely, and this is the vast majority of pundits, by the way, of just doing it. The Alan Shearer thing of, he passed it to him, then he passed it to him, and then he scored.
And it's a great finish.
And you're like, yeah, I can see all of that stuff myself. Like, you've literally shown me the goal 5 times.
He's meant to be, I mean, one thing I think's funny about this, and maybe this is just because, like, you know, I used to work on papers and stuff like that, but these conversations go on all the time, you know, what pundit do you think's good and bad, and who do you think's good on the radio and who's bad on the radio. And because, like, I used to be in circles where I was working with journalists. If you'd had those conversations, lots of times you'd ended up offending someone's mate. And you know what I mean?
I can imagine that.
So like, we were having, I remember having this conversation years ago, and I said, oh, I can't be arsed with Townsend, like, you know, what's he telling me? Similar to what you've just said. And I remember, like, you know, a reporter even you went, he's sound though, you know. And I was like, well, probably he is, mate. But I mean,
that's not the point.
No, exactly. He can be sound, and also he can be like not that interesting when he does punditry.
100%.
And like, I'd have a pint with him.
But that's the same in every job, isn't it? Like, I know some sound lads who are awful lawyers. I would not recommend you use them as lawyers, and that's their job. But they're like, if you go to
they're all watching at home now, going,
is that me? Yeah, I do. I mean you, whoever it is watching. I can imagine how that happens all the time. And the other thing that I see happening is you'll see someone on Twitter going, oh, I can't stand insert name of pundit. Like the one I saw the other day was, I can't stand Danny Murphy, he makes me skin crawl. And I was like, I think he's all right.
I think he's all right.
He's okay.
I reckon we're going to get stick with this. But I reckon he's all right. I think he's all right.
Why is he a hated one?
He doesn't get up my nose at all. But you know what? I changed my perception of Danny Murphy. And like, it's interesting how that can happen, isn't it? Because Cy Hughes, he's in one of Cy Hughes' books, you know, where he goes and tells the story of like past Liverpool eras.
Yeah.
He came across totally different from what I expected. Like, so he came from like... a bit of a tough background and all that. And he was actually a little bit of an hard knock with a bit of an attitude. And I never thought of that of him at all.
And you liked him because of that?
Yeah.
I love the way, have you ever got onto the theme? I mean, you will have got onto the theme.
There is a theme, isn't it?
Like whenever Robert goes, I really like this person, it's like, he's basically a tough arsehole.
Yeah. Go on, pick me one.
I'll give you the one. I like this question myself. Oh, it's from Peter Gibbons. It's Gibbo's dad, isn't it?
It's Gibbo's dad,
Gibbo's dad. Who's the most shit alleged football fan? David Cameron or Piers Morgan or ...
Yeah, I mean, they're good suggestions from Peter, I would say, as a start off. But one
I didn't know, who's Cameron? Who does Cameron allegedly support?
Well, he did that thing, didn't he, where he fucked it up. So he said Villa, didn't he? But then another time he said Burnley or something.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he cocked it up. Yeah, he cocked it up in a speech and then everyone jumped on it.
That's in fairness to a black footy fan, that's a trap there, isn't it?
It is. I mean...
Some of them playing the same kits.
Just don't pretend. Just don't pretend. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, what I seen this week, and I'm more than happy to stick the boot into this knobhead, is Nigel Farage, who says in his lifetime he'd never seen England win a penalty shootout.
Hello.
Well, what about the one in the Euros, mate?
Yeah.
Because you were definitely alive.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're just trying to, you know, use footy to say, look at me, man of the people, I'm like you and all that. Well, you're not, mate, are you? And if you're a footy fan, you'd probably remember England winning a penalty shootout in the Euros when it was played in England. So, yeah. I'll go for him.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Prince William as well, who you know, Peter Moore likes to tell us is a great football fan. Not really though, is he? You know what I mean?
No.
Is he? Nah.
When was the last time he bought a pie on a Villa away trip in the Championship?
Proper footy fan, my ass. Who you having?
The first one that jumped into my head was Tim Lovejoy.
Who? I mean, he come up with the concept of Soccer AM, didn't he?
Was it his idea?
Yeah, I think it was his idea. Like, I mean, I know it's like everyone gives him a kick now, and his book is meant to be horrendous. Do you remember his book was getting quoted? Someone spent a lot of time quoting his book online. I like it was cringy.
Why? I mean, why? What was he saying?
Oh, I mean, I can't remember now because it was ages ago. I just remember like loads of screenshots went up and they were just awful. And I ended up thinking, I feel a little bit bad for him. I mean, do you remember the time when he wore? I think it was him. He wore a Ramones t-shirt, and you know the fella off The Office, who's like the one who everyone likes, Tim.
Yeah.
What's his name in real life? Martin Freeman. He was on a show with him and he started saying, "Oh, you got a Ramones t-shirt on there. What's your favourite album?" And obviously he was a real Ramones fan, and like he just stunned them everywhere, and like that got shared loads, and I understand why everyone liked it. But a little bit part of me was like, I feel a little bit sorry for him.
Are you related? Is this one of those things where like, he's one of your mates?
No, not
Is he a showbiz mate of yours and have offended you now?
I did like Soccer AM in the day.
I think when it started,
it's way past its sell-by date now, I think. But
yeah.
I
think. It's funny that he popped into my head straight away. He always comes across to me as one of them ones who pretends to be a big fan and isn't really, like, but then he's a Chelsea fan, isn't he? So that could be, I think that's all Chelsea fans.
Natural bias.
Pretty much.
Not
to generalise.
Been trying to speak to a Chelsea fan, couldn't get one for love nor money.
Well, that's the problem, none of them exist. But, I mean, Gibbo's dad, I love, that's my favourite new thing, you know, calling people's dads, like, their son's name, like, and dad, rather than them having their own identity.
Yeah.
I like Gibbo's dad is better than Peter, isn't it?
Oh,
I've never even met Peter.
You were involved with my dad on Twitter last night as well.
I was, yeah.
Saying about my dad saying I haven't got a proper
Well, we
job.
haven't talked about your dad for ages now. I used to enjoy talking about your dad.
We haven't.
Because I love the thought of, I always think this, like, I can't believe this has never been thrown back at me by Robbo, that, like, I take the piss out of them for not having a proper job, and, like, I haven't had a proper job for so long now, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I think our dad's generations, they just can't get their heads around any of this, can they? It's like, what do you do now, son?
My dad watches
talking
this.
to a camera.
My dad.
And, yeah. My dad doesn't watch this because he doesn't know how to use the internet properly.
My dad's only watching it because his new telly has got the YouTube thing on, so you can just press it and get it up. And so I think my mum and dad are watching them because weird things keep happening where like I go round or something and they go, "Oh yeah, I know about that, yeah," and you're like, "Oh, I haven't seen you." Like, "Oh, you said it on the video."
On Talking Reds, yeah. Oh, well, actually, my dad might watch this because I did the same thing to them last week because my mum was like, "I want to watch it on telly." That's gone off on a tangent, hasn't it? Piers Morgan is a good shout. I think he's the one who, whenever I see online, I'm just like, I wish someone would just shut him up. Did you see the clip of him with Danny Dyer, like not the one about where Danny Dyer was talking about David Cameron, where he was talking about his daughter on Love Island, and he just kept going to him, "Shut up, Piers."
Did he? Yeah?
Shut up, just stop talking. And I was like, Piers Morgan is a good one.
It's your go. It's my turn to pick one for you. I'm having this one. Let's get this one in there. The important stuff here now. Don Brown at Doc Brown 80. Back to the Future fan by any chance there, La? He says, which member of the squad do you think could eat the most sausages and why? Great question.
That's an absolutely great question. And it's mad that, like, not a Liverpool player, but one of my mates, like, who is an infrequent contributor probably to the Anfield app, Paul Johnson, also known as Jacko and Jono, which confuses people.
It confuses
the living daylights out of them.
It's not bad though.
I often refer to Jono as Jacko and alternate in the same conversation, so it really confuses people because, like, who are you talking about now?
Yeah.
Like the
Does
same
he mean
person.
Ben Jono? Or I know, I'm confused with all that.
But he is a sausage man, basically, which you can interpret however you want. But yeah, he loves sausages. Have you ever heard his sausage story?
No.
Walking down through town after a night out, he was walking through town, and one of my mates was eating a chippy dinner with a sausage on top.
Willy dinner.
And the sausage rolled off. And they were in the bus stop in Queen Square, and it rolled down the street. Literally, like the lads were saying, it rolled down like 10 foot. And my mate just went, carried on walking. And Jacko went to him, "You leaving now?" And he went, "Yes, mate." It's just rolled down the street like 10 foot. And he went, "Do you mind if I have it?" and he went back, picked it off the floor, brushed it down and ate it. And my mate said, like, the people in the bus stop, there were people there, like, going, "Oh my God, what is this, man?" It was like 20 pence. And he's not skint or anything. We'd buy him a sausage if he wanted one. So yeah, he's the first person. He won loads of
money on a quiz show.
He did, exactly.
He could definitely afford the sausages.
So he would definitely take on anyone in the squad. But from the Liverpool squad, like, the next one who came into my head was Kolo Torres for some reason. He doesn't even play for us anymore.
Can't have him.
So, it's a good one, this. John, I'll go left field.
Go on.
Ragnar Klavan.
Okay. Why?
Don't know. Instinctively, he seems like he'd be a sausage eater from back home.
And you think he could eat more than anyone else in the squad?
Well, I'm trying to think of the squad now. I was thinking about this. I was listening to the Anfield app at end of year quiz on the way in, thinking, whenever I'm on that, I am so bad.
Yeah,
and bearing in mind, like, my thing in real life is to be good under.
Again?
I don't know. I've only got about 10 minutes.
I did the Crimbo one, thinking all geared up to answer questions on footy, which is what you'd expect from an Anfield app quiz. Yeah. And then I got asked about atoms or something, and I was like,
that was mad. But that's
I only got a C in GCSE science. I don't know.
That was Neil going wild. But then I let myself down on, like they say, who was Liverpool's top scorer last season, and I'm like,
Oh no, it's bad when you're under pressure, though, isn't it?
I'm going off all over.
So you said Klavan.
I said Klavan. Who are you saying?
I'm saying Milner, only because I just think, like, he's, like, ultra competitive. So, like, if the competition was who can eat the most sausages, then he'll find a way to eat the most sausages because he's competitive. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that inside training this week that Liverpool put out.
I've seen this, like, I haven't seen the footage, but apparently he's, like, the fittest.
Well, basically, they did some test where, like, they're running and they're testing you, and then they're running, and, like, it slowly whittles down the squad, or at least the 26 that have been training this week. And yeah, he was the last man standing, like, so.
I like that.
And then, like, you know, when he was a kid as well, I think he was brilliant at not just footy but cricket as well. And, like, you know about how much he looks after himself and all that. I think he's just like an ultra competitive man, and so because he's got that spirit about him, I think he'd win the sausage battle. But
sausage battle.
Hannon. I mean, I was going through some of these in the office before, and Hannon reckons Grujic.
Grujic is a good shout as well, I think. I think we're probably coming from a similar direction there, me and Craig, aren't we? Like, Eastern Europeans like eating lots of sausages. Well, I think that probably comes, I'm trying to unpick where my answers come from. And it comes from, like, when I was in Germany last year, and when you start heading in that general direction, like, there was loads of stuff where it's just meat. Like, do you want something to eat? Yeah. Do you want some meat? You're like, yeah, sound. Can I have any? And it got to the end of a 3-day stag do, and literally all the lads were like, any veg, any chance of any green stuff. We talked about that after Kiev. That's exactly what it was like.
Just getting a piece of broccoli and just like...
Yeah, definitely. My thing about Milner is, I think the fact he's in such good shape maybe is a hindrance to his sausage-eating ability. His body might reject them because he must look after himself. When was the last time he ate a sausage? He might not eat them.
He might have a cheat day though, mightn't he? He might eat loads.
We should get him on and ask.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Get him on and ask him that as his first question.
So
how many sausages do you think
you could eat? There, lad?
That's the beauty of it. You pick one for you. Oh, you will like this one. Nothing at CXWRTN. My Twitter handle. The Anfield Rap staff contributors have a free-for-all fight. Who wins?
Okay.
Are we opening up to everybody who contributes?
Yeah, so that's like 90 odd people, I think, at last count. So it's a lot of people. I'm sure I'll probably think of, other ways people could win this later on.
Yes, but I'm thinking about that.
My early shout on it is I'm going to say, and he's a dead nice, jolly fella as well, and so maybe you won't be
surprised by this.
I'm going to say Milburn.
Oh, okay.
Because I just think he's a strong lad.
Yeah.
And I just think he'd have a hell of a dig on him.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of him.
Okay.
And I just think if it was a big free-for-all, which is what the lad's suggesting, I can just see him still standing. Do you know what I mean? Like people all flailing everywhere and him just pushing you off and just getting the odd good dig in here and there, leaving a few people floored.
Yeah.
But then there could be like a little wily fox, someone you don't expect, couldn't he? Who could be left standing. But no, my early shout, I'm going to say Milburn. What about you?
I'd put myself forward as the wily fox you don't expect.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm fitter and stronger than you'd imagine.
Okay.
Just generally speaking.
But
I'd be tactical about it. Okay. So my first thought of who would win a free-for-all was Ben Jono, because he's hard, he's strong, he's big, and he's gnarly. But the problem, and I was thinking that as you said it, the problem with Jono is he could be killed. Like, if he was on a battlefield, like in Braveheart or something, he could be the fella who gets killed within 30 seconds.
Because he's just so wound
just straight into it. And then someone stabs him, and that's it, he's done. Someone chops his head. It's probably chop his head off, I would think.
Whereas you need someone, you're thinking like someone who's just around the periphery, biding the time.
Well, you've got to think there's 90 people in this free-for-all, so you don't want to be in the middle straight away because you're getting attacked from all sides. You want to hang back, be on the outside, so you can pick people off, wait for them to all get tired. I'm actually picturing, I think we should do this and film it.
Could be the end of the Anfield Rap.
I'll just have a little, I can picture myself sitting watching it for about 20 minutes. And by the time I come to fight Jono, the reality is with Jono, you'd have to chop his head off. You would, because he'd just keep coming back at you.
That might be a bit mad thing to.
I think that's
to
too
film.
much.
Yeah, it could be too much. If you'd like to see that and you'd like to crowdfund an Anfield Rap fight, set up the page and we'll see what happens. Okay, I'll pick one for you then. Jamie at JWalsh82. He asks, what's your favourite ever line of commentary? Can be footy or not. Just your favourite.
Oh, it's hard, that under pressure. I've seen there's a little debate going on at the minute, isn't there, about Barry Davis versus John Watson.
Did you watch that the other night? There was basically a Barry Davis documentary on. Yeah, it was really good. For me, it's Barry Davis all day, by the way, between those two.
Yeah,
what I loved about it, you can still get it, it's on iPlayer and all that. You come across, no surprise, how into it he was and the prep he did and all that. But lots of people talking about like what a professional he was. There was a bit where he had to redo the audio of a 100 metres race without seeing it again. So from memory, he had to commentate on that 10, and it had to be dead on 10 seconds. Fella just said, like, it's cocked up. We need you to do that audio again. It's got to be dead on 10 seconds. Go. And he just went blah 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 blah. Someone's catching up. You know what I mean? And they played it on the show, and it was to the the second perfect. And they showed the pictures as well, which he didn't have the benefit of.
That's ridiculous.
And it was perfect. And it was like, wow.
What a pro.
But also as well, what I loved about it was, you'd think it'd be this big, like the BBC saying, this is how great we are, and Barry was brilliant and all that. He basically admitted there was huge needle between him and Motson.
Oh.
And he went, he obviously meant Motson. He said people played games to get certain matches. And I was like, yes, yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Let's admit that Everton's not sweetness and light. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
It was great. So it's worth a watch. That. Have you got one?
I struggle with stuff like this. I think the reality is, because your answer's probably going to be cliched. You always feel like you should come up with something cool in this, but the reason the ones that pop into my head have popped into my head is because they were great lines that have been repeated loads. They think it's all over is a classic line. If he could have gone back and had time to work on a line, he'd have struggled to come up with something better than that would be so iconic. So, do you know what I mean with that?
I mean,
have you got it? Have you got any?
There's loads of Barry Davies ones, to be fair, and obviously, like, I'm going to be biased towards that. I haven't watched that the other night, and I think this might be him, and it might not be. Someone correct me. One of my mates is brilliant on commentaries, remembers them all. But anyway, I'm going to go with Barnes, with as much strength as he can muster. Oh my word! And what can you do about that? Absolutely nothing. And he bends it into the top bin, goes in.
Nice one. Yeah,
brilliant goal. I think it's against Aston Villa.
Did you see the one the other day someone put on Twitter, which I thought was brilliant, when he reversed the golf with the footy commentary?
Oh no!
And someone did like the equivalent of a golf commentary to Ronaldo's free kick in Portugal.
So like hushed whispers and all that.
And he lines it up, and he takes a couple of steps to his left. Oh, he needs to sink this for the equaliser. It's there. Well done, Cristiano. it was absolutely brilliant. And then they did the same for like a winning golf putt, and it was like everyone going wild. It was boss.
Imagine
yeah,
that.
Have a look at that. Do you want another one?
Yeah.
Might have to do a normal one. Let me see if I can get it. Right, I'll give you a normal one, and then I'll find a good one. I'm going to ask you this just to see, because I'm interested, but my answer's the same no matter who you put into this question. Sean LFC. If you could add a prime Suarez or Torres to the current squad, who would you pick?
I mean, look, I think I've got some different views of Suarez to a lot of Reds, in that, like, all the time I see, it seems anyway, I hear Reds talking about him, how good he is, how much they want him back and all that kind of thing. I still think he's a bit of a twat for what he did. He's a twat for leaving, he was a twat towards Kenny. Yeah. People still throw Kenny under the bus for supporting him, but I think, Kenny, rightly or wrongly on that, and loads of people think wrongly, obviously, with hindsight, but that was just an old school man thinking, you should gather the troops together and support your man. And okay, it doesn't look great with hindsight, but I just think, so I sort of fell out of love with him when he left. I just thought, well, fuck you then. I remember when he was like sort of going on strike and things like that, essentially. And obviously Torres had a similar departure where, his body language wasn't great and all that kind of thing. And he was one where he was the last one, if you like, that sort of broke my heart in terms of being a player. The last one I've sort of hero worshipped a little bit. But if I push all that emotional baggage to the side, to me, it's obviously Suarez. It's obviously Suarez. I mean, I love Torres, and I love the way he settled in so quick, scored that goal against Chelsea. I love the way Redden tried to kick him off the field, and he won the game, and he was brilliant. He had a bit of needle about him, Torres, as well, which was an underrated quality of his. So obviously, I love that. But Suarez was absolutely brilliant. I think some of the goals he scored for Liverpool are some of the best goals I've ever seen in my life. That night against Norwich at Anfield was just unbelievable. I wrote about it in that Maker's Dream book. It was the only bit I really contributed to that book, to be honest. But I remember writing in that about, you go to the game sometimes, and look, if you go to a lot of football, you can't always be like, yeah, it's boss, I love going to match. Sometimes it's a bit of a trudge, sometimes it's a bit of an effort, sometimes it's hard to get out the door when it's freezing and you're knackered and all that. And that was one of them nights. It was cold, it was dark, it was winter. I remember going, and it was a little bit of it's only Norwich and all that kind of thing. And then he does that, and you're like, fucking hell. That is an elite footballer right there, playing for Liverpool in the red, and that is brilliant. So yeah, it's got to be Suarez.
Yeah, basically you could put anybody else's name in that question, and I will always say Suarez. I've even watching him in the World Cup, I've never seen a player like him. Never seen a player that combines. And when he left, I always said you couldn't replace him with Messi or Ronaldo. You couldn't, because what he gives to the team is completely different to them. He's the only player I've ever seen who combines the gnarliness to that level of a Jamie Carragher with just sublime skill, the best skill you can see.
I love all the stuff about that. He never missed any training.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Did we say this on the last one? I can't remember. Or we might have been talking about it off air when talking about another player, and it was for certain players to play, they have to be 100% fit. For Luis Suarez not to play, he has to be 100% injured.
Yeah, they have to talk him down, say no, mate.
You can't play.
Yeah,
and that's there's some controversial points about this about the end of last season, but the reality is, I've seen Luis Suarez in times when 99.9% of footballers are leaving the pitch, and he's going, no, I'm playing, lad. Yeah. And the difference with Torres in particular is, Torres had games where he just didn't contribute anything. You could see he's having a bad game. I remember it was either the Norwich one or maybe the West Brom one, where literally after half an hour, me and the lads in the ground were saying, he's not with it today, is he? But even when he wasn't at it, his touch wasn't there. He was always involved. He was still needed. He was still working hard. And that day he scored a hat-trick. And after half an hour, you're like, he's been crap. And he scored a hat-trick. And you're like, incredible.
All right, out today on the Anfield Wrap, there is the Gutter Show, where we'll be talking about transfers, all the links to Liverpool, whether they're likely to happen or not. AFQ, where we answer the questions from Twitter in a not dissimilar style to that. And then City Talk, just wanted to mention that we have got a radio show and you should listen to it, because how many other groups of fans have got their own radio show, eh? So 15:48 a.m. at 6:30 p.m. tonight, and then it's released later as a free podcast. And if you want to shout to other people about how good the Anfield Wrap is, and we'd love it if you did, well, that's one you can share with them. You can say, yeah, lads, have a listen to that. Yeah, girl, you're a red, have a go with that. Send it to your dad, send it to your ma, whatever. Get them into the Anfield Wrap and help us keep all this going, because that is the whole point of the enterprise. Anyway, have a boss weekend. Enjoy your Friday. Get out in the sun. Watch the World Cup. Watch the Reds if you're going to Chester. And that's been Talking Reds. We'll be back next week.